Mark Field, MP for London and Westminster since 2001, heavily involved in debates on homelessness, the NHS, government debt, Northern Ireland, Heathrow and social housing. A Remain voter, but did vote to trigger Article 50, implying he respected the vote. He has been a member of the Privy Council since 2015 and was Minister of State for Asia and Pacific since June 2017.
Can you get this person out?
It's a peaceful protest.
Well, that video looks rather incriminating, doesn't it? Context for this would be that Philip Hammond was giving a speech at a private event, or about to, when it was interrupted by some climate protesters, including this lady Janet Barker. Mark Field, as you can tell, as you saw in the video in fact, got very handsy, so much so that it looked like he was assaulting a protester. Many articles have come up since indicating that they were nothing more than peaceful protesters there to protest about a climate emergency. We know this because it was on the sash that all of them were wearing. Mark Field, while apologising for what he did, believed that they had weapons, believed they were a threat, so acted in what he believed to be the most appropriate way possible. Now, I should say, he should never have gotten to that point. I don't think he acted appropriately. I think he should have just let them talk and wait for security to arrive and remove them. But that's actually an issue that's been raised by the City of London Corporation, who are conducting a security review, as they rightly believe this should never have gotten to this point. Downing Street, unsurprisingly for the sake of optics, find the footage worrying. Dawn Porter, the Labour MP, well, unsurprisingly she believes this is a huge problem. Janet Barker, also unsurprising, decided in her infinite wisdom to play the pinnacle, the epitome of a victim in an interview done with the BBC, going so far as to recommend that Mark Field seek anger management classes as a way to best handle what he clearly experiences with that horrible, horrible maleness. It's very toxic. I personally believe that it was wrong of him to act the way he did, but unsurprising that he did act that way. While a number of articles have sarcastically claimed that he deserves a knighthood for what he did, all the while also saying, she clearly was a peaceful protester, others have pointed out what reasonable force is, because there's an investigation going on as to whether or not there should be some form of prosecution against Mark Field. In the context of what happened, he did not breach what could be considered reasonable force. In fact, he did use that in the context of he believed she was a threat. With what Janet Barker said in the interview, I'm going to read a couple quotes. "We were polite with people and said we are here to deliver a message, and he certainly manhandled me in a way which was very disagreeable." She's being quite polite with these responses, but I can't imagine for a second you being handled would have in any way made you feel like it wasn't disagreeable, since I doubt you wanted anyone to touch you in the first place. Mark Field, in his interview with the ITV, did say there was no security present, and I was for a split second genuinely worried she might have been armed. That's understandable, because in that room was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, one of the most important people in the country, politically anyway. However, I should outright still condemn what he did, because I don't believe it was the right thing to do. Others have rallied around Mark Field. This causes a problem. The current Foreign Secretary and challenger for Prime Minister's seat, Jeremy Hunt, has said that Mark has issued a full and unreserved apology. He recognised that what happened was an overreaction. In his interest, and the interest of the lady involved, we need a proper Cabinet Office inquiry, and that's what's going to happen. So I guess until an investigation is completed and we know the outcome, we won't know whether male privilege prevails, common sense prevails, or the witch hunt prevails. We'll find out, and when we do, I will of course update you all.